Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Freeze Friday, a spending review. And spending wise, I spent nothing except my Amazon subscription for the refills for my Easy Runner Grand came in. So nothing else purchased, and I guess it was easy this week because any place I might have purchased anything was closed, and most of the mail order places you can order are not delivering for like 2 or 3 weeks. So anyway, didn't spend anything, but I created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 layouts, most of them burdened with lots and lots of Calvinball points, although I did one that was comparatively minimalist for me. So I'll just kind of quickly go through my layout share. This one was a short week. I did my last Freeze Friday on Sunday, and this one is layouts created as late as last night, but nothing that I've done today. So next week's will cover everything I do today and beyond. And I've got my supplies all set up for my next layout today, which will be a scrap squad. They're doing 14 days of lockdown lifts, and I'm on, I think it's day 6 today. So, excuse me. So we'll start with this one. This is the most recent one I've done for Mixed Media Frenzy, and this went live. The video for this went live today, and was my first video with my new lighting and camera setup. So that I'm trying to get the adjustments right. So bear with me. I appreciate your patience. So this one. The original is the sketch that I was working from is this, and it's it didn't have a look to it that I thought was going to be particularly easy for me or would work given my style. I'm not sure what to say. All of those angles and triangles and things, the chevrons, just kind of seemed disjointed and unfriendly to me. So I started everything out using a chevron background paper, which is also in the original. And given those colors, I picked the same tones of colors in this washi tape. And this is a kind of mixed bag of striped patterns. I don't know where this came from. This is Bella Boulevard, and I have no idea of the brands of anything else out here. I think these pineapples are Amy Tangerine, and I think these coffee cups might be Chamel or Paige Evans. The sloth is Pebbles, Cake Day, I think, and the little upside down panda bear is from Bella Boulevard. This is Vicky Bouton. This is Paige Evans Horizon. Anyway, and this is the new Vicky Bouton texture paste, and I was using a cardboard stencil and that kind of bled. But I actually like this a lot better finished than I thought I would, although I doubt that I would ever do another one like this. So definitely not a repeat kind of thing. And this one was 72 Calvinball points, so I'll put that aside. This one is one that I did kind of halvesies. I was doing a challenge that had a recipe with 5 requirements, and the 5 requirements were stamp, stencil, or stitch was one requirement, silver, sequins, stars, and 7 pattern papers. So my video, my YouTube video, has just meeting the requirements for that recipe. And then I did a little time-lapse video that showed me adding all of these Calvinball points. And this is just about everything that's branded product on here is Pink Fresh Studio. Although when you start to adding Calvinball points, it goes all over the place. Echo Park and Vicky Boutin and more Echo Park, Bella Boulevard. These are Tim Holtz stamps. Just lots of different, there's some Doodlebug in there and so forth. And this one was 93 Calvinball points when I added. This is a gorgeous photo that my son took in the park when it would normally be very crowded, and I did a few edits, including this black and white one that got me a Calvinball point. This one is one I did for, that one, the one I just showed you was for Challenge Accepted, the series that I do with Shannon Allor. And we took on the Mercy Tiara Winter 2020 Inspiration Challenge that had a recipe. So that's where that recipe came from. This one is a lift from one of the Scrap Squad Lockdown lifts, number 4. And this was the original, the striped paper, the couple of banners, the doily, the photo, the title kind of overlapping the photo, etc. So I did this one as a couple photos of my granddaughter Katie. This was in 2009, and she was, this was not 2000, yeah, that was 2009, but she wasn't 9, she was 7. I wrote that wrong. And this was when she was 13. This was, she had always wanted to go to New York City, so we took her to New York City, and she'd always wanted to go to Paris, so we took her to Europe, and our first stop was London. So I've titled this one Jet Setter, and I don't have a whole lot of Calvinball points on here. I accept things that kind of made sense given the story here. It's kind of a life before lockdown, wondering if anybody will be a jet setter ever again, if that's even ever going to be a thing. With it's kind of scary. This one is one where I used an absolutely gorgeous piece of little yellow bicycle paper that I've hoarded for at least 10 years. And the lift that I was doing was this gigantic numeral, and it was celebrating this little boy's 9th birthday. Katie's 18th birthday is coming up. I didn't want to trust cutting on this, so I actually, something equally as scary, I printed on it. I just picked a font that I liked on my word processor and made it as big as I thought I needed, and placed it where I thought I needed it to be. Did one of her senior class pictures. This was a picture taken the night before I did the layout, where she was baking a cake, and this is a picture of her with me on my birthday back in December. And I made a list of the traditional senior class events that she's missing. She had big spring break plans, and those were canceled. She's missing her last few months of classes with friends, or last few weeks of classes with her friends, no graduation ceremony, and no 18th birthday bash. So it's kind of, she's in the dumps a lot, but she's a smart girl who understands why all this is having to happen. So I'm added a few Calvinball points inside the numerals there, kind of in keeping with the original. But that one was, let's see, 71 points. So not a whole lot. This one is one that I kept as minimal as you'll see me do. It only had 64 points. This was for Off the Board. It's a monthly series where we take a favorite pin off Pinterest and lift it or copy it. And this is was my pin. I've had that for a while, And I just loved that all of the embellishments were kind of separate. There was not a lot of layering going on, which is something I usually do. And I had to stop myself from doing it when I did this one. So this one has a video up. I think so far every one that I've shown has a video on my YouTube channel. So this is what I did. This was a beautiful sunrise picture at Margaritaville on Pensacola Beach back last August, when we were celebrating our anniversary. And I used a bramble fox. This is not supposed to be on there. I'm thinking it's supposed to be there. Bramble fox title, a perspective title, The Dreams Come True. And then this is their perspective tropical leaf. And I had a Maggie Holmes list of things to take. This paper down here is absolutely one of my favorite collections ever. I think it's fancy pants, but it's called Beach Babe. And I thought it's not quite the pink that you see in that sunrise, but I thought if I added some similar pink items up top, this is actually a hibiscus fussy cut from that same pattern. So I absolutely love how this page turned out. I'm thrilled with it. This one is another one that doesn't have a whole lot of embellishing. This one was done, it's the very first lockdown lift. And the original has this black and white photo and looks like a 3x4 card, and then just butterflies and leaves and sprigs. And I couldn't keep with, I replaced the butterflies with all of these other points. And I did some stamping to get some Calvinball points, and did some sprinkling. I managed to find the exact same wood grain background paper as in the original, but that's where the similarity ends. Well, I do have a photo and a 3x4 card, so I'm getting close there. And this one is an overdone, kind of crazy one with a sleeping dog. The original was this really pretty page with the doily and the cute photograph and just a few embellishments, but this kind of busy patterned paper up here, and looks like an iCat print background or frame paper behind that. And so I did a black and white and a geometric print, and then this big rainbow print, and then did the big photo of the dog asleep and then her little wistful face there. And the rest of it was kind of done for Calvinball points. And I was saying we're so lucky that Reese doesn't know it's her birthday, or she might resent the lockdown. Like she might resent the lockdown like everybody else in the house does. So this one was 95 points. And this is one that does not have a video. That one does have a video. I'm doing all 14 days of lockdown lifts. I'm doing videos every day on the day that the lift comes out. Now, that's easy for me because the lifts are published in the UK, and so they're there as soon as I wake up in the morning, so I can get them, and still sometimes I do them at night. This one was it was a layout that was done by Tracy Annunziato, and she was lifting Anne Freeman, and Tracy's in the Mind the Scrap family, and Anne is on the design team for Mind the Scrap, and it's just beautiful and simple, and of course I made it complicated and full of Calvinball points. So this is on my list to do again. We have a new Mind the Scrap kit that's due to arrive any day now, and I'm stalking the postal box to get it. and I'm going to do a truer version of this because I just absolutely love this layout. I love all the white space down below. So mine doesn't have white space. I used a Vicky Boutin pre-made mixed media background, and I did some white ink sprinkles on it, but all the rest of this was gratuitous. I have my 3 circles, and the photo was taken, I dragged it into a shape on my word processor of a speech bubble, and it's just a little, an older photograph of Ava where she's kind of looking wistful. I think she's in the back of the truck at one of her brother's baseball or football games. And the rest of it is just a gratuitous effort to get Calvinball points. And how many did I get? 88, so not too bad. And this one is a coronavirus page. It's busy and overdone, but so was the background paper. That's a Pink Fresh Studios background where all of these little pieces. It's like a wonky grid, so I was able to call it a grid layout. I had seen this photo, actually this photo where they're all the nurses and doctors, the healthcare professionals, and there's a superhero saluting them. And I thought that was touching, so I actually converted it to black and white, made it the larger photo, and it's the background for my title, which says currently. And it's and along with this rather serious imagery, I also saw a little meme that said 8 p.m. is now the official time to remove your day pajamas and put your night pajamas on. And that's, I have to admit, I've been there, done that in these days. So this lots of Calvinball points, and I kind of used, I left a lot of their squares open because they represented points, and then I added other things I stamped and put the photo corners there. So this one, I think, should have gotten that one only 80 points. Okay, so that's it for this week. All of this good stuff is for my next layout, which is today's Scrap Squad lockdown lift. And I'll see you next week. Hope you're all staying healthy and have found fun, scrappy things to do inside while we're all social distancing, if you will. So thanks for watching. See you next week.